Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Now I'm running super late today. The last few nights I've been watching true crime documentaries, police interrogations and stuff like that of serial killers and God knows what. And man, that stuff sucks you in. It's really interesting to watch those people just lie through their teeth, make all the mistakes, thinking they're, doing the right things to make it seem like they're crazy or innocent or whatever. But what all they're actually doing is actually showing their total guilt. It's very interesting, but it sucked me into this YouTube hole, a rabbit hole of videos, and I've ended up staying up till about 4 a.m. each night watching it. Well, today that all caught up with me. And I slept all friggin' day. So, man, I'm running behind. But here we go. We've got 4 deathcore bands to check out today, and they're all different types of deathcore. We've got technical stuff, we've got modern stuff, we've got metalcore-y stuff, we've got some Thor and genty stuff as well. So we're going to have a right bumper show of heavy deathcore sounds. And the reason we're doing this today as well is because my singer, he really likes the first band, A Night in Texas, and they've just put out a new track, and he showed it me the other day, and I listened to it kind of just casually, not really putting my ear to it too much. And I must admit to him, I won't lie, I said to him, man, this sounds pretty standard to me, because in my opinion, the great deathcore and the kind of the big bands in deathcore have really perfected the deathcore sound, in my opinion. The mixes are as loud and as punchy and just wallop you in the ears as much as they can. I don't think there's really any more room for any more loudness or punchiness in the drums with that stuff. And moving through the sections in this kind of music, you get the double beat sections and then breaking it into a breakdown and things like that. And I just feel like that it would be nice at this stage in the game because this music's really kind of peaked in the last few years to start adding more stuff to it, building on top of what they've got, because with what they've got so far, it's really been polished to a very, very nice sheen. Anyway, we're going to check this track out again today and really properly put our ear to it and listen to it properly, because he actually made a priority submission, which is what I wasn't expecting to come through. It just sat there and it came through. Anyway, I'm going to stop chatting on now. This first band we're going to check out is A Night in Texas. This is a brand new track they've just put out called Flesh Kingdom. They're putting out a new album. It's actually a double album. It's got 7 tracks on each one, so you're going to get 14 tracks to listen to, which is pretty crazy. So we're going to check this one out. It's got a cool video to go with it as well. Let's check it out, see what we think for real. Hear the bass great in the mix as well, which is nice. really cool. Dope. Now, this band is heavy as hell. Their music sounds great. All the sections flow into each other nicely. It's got the right tones on all the instruments. You can hear the bass nicely in the mix. The drums sound great. Kick through the mix. You can always hear every snare and kick hit. And the cymbals sound great and all the rest of it. Loads of blast beats and mixing it up. Double bass sections, breaking it down. All those things that I was saying. And I do think that this sound is as good as it's going to get. You know, that's the pinnacle of kind of black and deathcore. But I will say it doesn't sound fresh anymore. We've heard this kind of sound, we've heard this kind of arrangement now for a number of years. 2018, 2019, it's really kind of started to polish itself up in that way. To the point now where I really think there's no polish left to go. And I think at this stage in the game, these bigger deathcore bands, the kind of trailblazers and the guys with the record labels and things like that behind them, the money behind them to get a really high quality professional mix from the best deathcore mixers that there are in the game, of which there's many, and they do a great job of it as well. That they need to bring in some element now that catches you off guard, because there was nothing in that track, particularly for me, that sounded kind of really different or caught me off guard or made me really think or anything like that. It just felt like really great high quality deathcore, but stuff, the kind of stuff I have heard before. And I'm the type of guy that likes to see a freshness, particularly from the bigger bands, because I feel like they've got the people and the money behind them to be kind of, trying out new things, and they're the ones really pushing the genre in the direction that it's going. Everyone else is following those guys down that path, and it would be nice to see the big bands to kind of branch out a bit now with their deathcore sound and try and incorporate a new edge, a new element, maybe a new type of mix or something like that, to just bring a freshness to this kind of style of music, because I do feel like in its current state, it's reached its pinnacle. And they can either just keep making more and more albums of that, which is fine, or they're going to go downhill, or they're going to find another peak to try and climb up to. And I'd like to see them try and find a new peak to climb up to. That's where I'm coming from. But still, you might think, well, I don't like this band then, or I'm knocking this band really hard. That's not the case at all. I think this band's 10 out of 10. I think what they're doing is 10 out of 10. And because it's 10 out of 10, they need to start looking for the 11. That's the point I'm getting to now, because I just don't want to see kind of bands get somewhere and stay there. I always like to see an evolution in bands, and kind of evolving their sound as time goes on, because no one wants to stay in place. That's no good. We're going to move on to this next band because we've got 4 bands to check out today, and I've been rattling on enough already. We've gone on 11 minutes. This next band, we checked them out on the show. I'd never heard of them before, but they really impressed me. I thought they had a great sound. So we got another one as well. This is from September 2020. This is Abbie Falls. The track is called Mayday. Let's enjoy this one. This is a punchy mix. Kind of sick of seeing these videos now. Man, that sounds like a machine gun. Drums sound amazing in this one. They got such a punch to them. Yeah, man. Geez, that was a punchy mix. Came in so hard across your ears and just slapped you really hard. Man, we had a lot of those kind of videos when we were checking out bands in 2020. And I'm kind of glad we haven't had as many of them in 2021. But yeah, there's a lot of shit going down in 2020. Jesus fuck. This next band is going to be a very cool band. We haven't checked them out before, but it's featuring Callie Tholmer from I'm not ever sure how to say this name. Viljata, Humanity's Last Breath. You know, we love those bands. Crazy Thor deathcore stuff. And it's mixed by Buster as well from Humanity's Last Breath. And we know that that guy just does the most freshest modern mix. Absolutely, you know, polished within an inch of its life. Sounds amazing. Sounds super fresh. But again, with that stuff, I think it sounds so polished. It sounds so good. There's really no... It couldn't sound any better, in my opinion. That they're going to have to start bringing in different edges. Because once your mix is as good as it's ever going to sound, you're only ever going to sound better by doing better music. You know, there's a lot of bands that do great music, but their mix leaves a bit to be desired, and that's still an area where they could step up. But when your mix is absolutely perfect and 10 out of 10, you know, it's just the music that can change at that point. Anyway, I'll stop going on. I've gone on way too much in this video about a load of crap. This is Reflections. The track is called Cicada. It's got a visualizer to it. Let's enjoy this band. Bunch of different styles of deathcore on today. Ridiculous guitar tone.
I hate my face.
over the place. Very broken up. Loads of mixing going on in this. Sick. Man, there was so much mixing going on in that track. It's as much about how the mixer and Buster did the job of that stuff as it is about the composition and the sound of the music as well. Because if those guys just played the song without any of the mixing going on, it wouldn't sound anything like that, I don't think. So yeah, this music is about as much the mix as well. And I thought this was an interesting track, had that real down-tempo deathcore vibe to it as well, which is something I'm personally enjoying a lot, because that is something new to me. The real down-tempo, you know, slow-moving deathcore stuff with a nice wailing atmosphere in the background to give it that kind of, you know, creepiness and stuff, Blackened Edge as well. Very, very cool. But what was cool about this track is the silence and the negative space within this track was as much a part of the music as the actual sound of the guitars. All those chop-ups and break-ups and stalls and pauses adds to the dynamics of the track, and it means that when the riff does come in, it hits even harder because it's contrasted against silence. You know, if you go from one heavy riff into another heavy riff, the contrast isn't as hard as when you go from silence into a heavy riff, because it's just, you know, there's no sound there before, so it hits you even harder. And that's why this music sounds so punchy as well, because it's coming in from nothing. Very, very dope. Now we're going to finish off with this last band today, and this is another different style of deathcore music. This is technical deathcore, and you know we love technical stuff on this channel, mainly because I'm just an absolute whore for amazing drumming, and you get amazing drumming in this kind of music. This is Crown Magenta. The track's called Black Lotus on the Slam Worldwide channel. Let's give it a spin. Drumming. Another machine gun. Need to see a foot cam of this drummer. And that one seemed to go quick for me. I think it was a regular length track, yeah, 3.5 minutes. Man, that one went really quick, felt like a 2-minute track to me. Well, I set this day up today to have 4 different styles of deathcore sound on the channel, and I love it when we do that. And we get a whole spectrum of the sound, you know, because deathcore isn't just one sound. It's the power, it's the sound of the drums, the sound of the guitars, the breakdowns, and things like that. Those elements, but there's still a lot of other stuff you can do with it. You can break it down into down tempo stuff. You can mess about with a mix and have it really, really mix within an inch of its life, and that ridiculous thorny guitar sound and stuff like that. You can just be heavy and chunky and breakdowny and have a great bouncing mosh to it, or you could be super technical like this last band where the drummer is just absolutely ridiculous, going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and all the rest of the guys in that band were super high level as well and had super high level instruments as well, which was really, really nice to look at, and just a real blazing energy in the music. So there's a whole spectrum to this sound, and there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can do it, but I will say, you know, with the bigger bands and the more high level bands, I do kind of put a bit more responsibility on those guys to keep leading the genre in a new and fresh direction, keep things fresh, and don't let them stagnate for too many years. You can do a couple of years on you know, a certain type of sound and vibe, but then we need you guys to start moving the sound on, because as I say, you are the trailblazers, you're the leaders, and you'll find that a lot of other bands follow behind you once you've done that, because you are those trailblazers. So there you go. That's why I give a bit more responsibility and a bit more kind of criticalness to the bigger bands. You know, we check out underground bands for the most part on this channel, and I do give them a lot more slack than I would do a real professional big band, because I feel those bigger bands have more of a responsibility because they represent the scene. Those are the faces of the scene. So there you go. That's my reasoning behind it. I hope you've enjoyed the show today. We've gone on for ages. I've talked way too much in this video and tried to justify my opinions, but there you go. It's because my singer and me, we have a kind of a bit of a to and fro about certain bands, whereas I think they can be moving on a bit and they're his favourite bands. So there you go. Thanks to Seth for making the submission as well. Hope you've enjoyed the show, and we'll see you tomorrow, guys. See ya. Bye.